Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from SweetStamper.com, and it is time for my Simple Stamping weekly Facebook Live. And so if you are here on the live with me, I would love for you to comment and just check in, say hello. I love to greet you when you are here with me live. And if you're watching the replay on Facebook, if you can just comment replay, and then also if you're watching the replay or the recording, I should say, on YouTube, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Welcome to Simone and Beverly. I'm so glad you're here with me. As you can see, I'm going to be featuring today the Sweet as a Peach, and this bundle is actually in our it's in our sale right now. And the retiring list came out yesterday. Hey, Valerie, I'm glad you're joining us. And this is on the retiring list. So this is only available while supplies last. It is a sale price on top of that. So I already have your inspiration sheet well in the works. All I have to do is put my a photo of the project in here, which I'll do after we're done today. So these are the things that I'm using today. And there you see the awesome sale price. It's 20% off. Normally $36.75. It's on sale for $32.75. Everything else on here it will be in the annual catalog with this exception, the Artistry Blooms adhesive back sequins. I'm using that today, and they will no longer be available. They are not on sale, but they are on a while supplies last basis at this point. And simple stamping is something that I do on here every week, and Stamp It Up gives us a challenge every month of simple stamping. And this month it is stamps, ink, paper, and an embellishment. So that's where my little embellishment comes in. Leave for a second. I totally forgot to bring my basket of stamps over here. Okay, so this is the embellishment of choice that I'm using. These are self-adhesive, adhesive-backed sequins, and these are I think there's 5 colors in the package, and these are the way they have been mounted. My trusty assistant, Darlene, she is an organizational maven, and she has put these together. This is kind of the last of them that I have, and both of these would work on the card I'm doing today, but I'm actually going to use the Calypso Coral. So I've got some things to show you afterwards, but let me go ahead and get into our card for today straight away. Although it's simple stamping, we're actually going to do a fun fold. So, fun folds are really just about stamps, ink, and paper. And so I thought, well, let's just do that today. Now, I do have this on an inspiration sheet for you, which I will attach. So this is actually a square. This is a square of Calypso Coral cardstock, and it's 5.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4 to make our card base, like so. And then I'm going to put a little strip of Pear Pizzazz cardstock right here. Again, this is just plain old cardstock. And having said that, we have amazing colors in our Stampin' Up! Cardstock and amazing coordination of the colors with the products. So there we go. That is a 5 1/4 by 1 inch piece of Pear Pizzazz. Okay, let's get into our focal piece, our little art piece. So I have mounted my stamps, and we're going to have some fun. Even though this is simple stamping, simple doesn't mean boring. Simple doesn't mean, dumbed down, as it were. Simple just means stamps, ink, and paper. And I think back again to when I first started stamping, and this was kind of, your mojo. This is where you went, your stamps, ink, and paper. But I did start with sponges back in the day, and that is where I'm going to be going today. Okay, I need a little bit of, this is a laminated piece of grid paper. I'm going to put my piece of regular grid paper here because I'm going to be stamping off. So the first thing I'm going to start with is Pear Pizzazz ink, and I'm going to use, pop these in my little basket here so I've got a little bit more space to work. I'm going to be using this branch with the leaves, and I'm going to ink this up with my Pear Pizzazz ink, and then I'm going to stamp off first. So I'm going to stamp it off here, and then I'm going to bring it right down into the corner, and this is a 4 by 3 inch piece of basic white cardstock. So that's just a really common size that we use. And I want this to be, you know, even stamped off, that Pear Pizzazz is still pretty strong. So now I'm going to stamp it off again, and I'm going to put a second branch, and I'm just going to nestle these leaves right into the top of that, that stem, and just angle it a wee bit so that I get a second branch going, okay? Looks a little bit plain at the moment, but that's okay. We're gonna have fun with it. Now I'm not gonna use, well, yeah, you know what? Let's just do a little bit on the inside as well. This is my inside piece, and it is 4.5 by 3.25, a little bit of a different size. And I'll show you how all that works because it's gonna be a little bit like a puzzle when we go to put it together. So let's take just a wee bit of this, and let's put a little piece of paper underneath this. You know, whenever you're stamping directly on your piercing mat, and you're going to be stamping where it goes off into the mat, that's all washable, but if you're not careful, you'll end up transferring that ink onto what you're working on. So I'm just going to angle that like so. And that's going to be on the inside. So now I'm done with my Pear Pizzazz ink. And let's go back to our front. So this is our front, our focal piece. And now comes some fun. We are going to ink up the peaches here. And I'm going to actually use 2 different colors. I'm going to use Pale Papaya mostly, and then a hint of Calypso Coral to give them a little bit of a sun-kissed look. You know, in real life, peaches are not just one shade. They have a couple of shades. And these are great peachy shades that work really well together. I'm going to grab my sponge dauber here and have it ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my peach stamp first of all with the Pale Papaya, the lightest color. And then I'm going to come over here with the Calypso Coral, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that Calypso Coral on the outer edge of my peaches, just to give them that sun-kissed look. Now this is a 2-step stamp, and I'm putting the peaches right into where the branches are, and once you kind of get where it fits ever so nicely. So you just angle them in to the stems, and they work ever so nicely. And you remember, when we're doing photopolymer stamps, we want to let that ink sit there for a couple of seconds. And then voila. Now can you see that I've got a couple of shades of that nice peach color? And that to me is the key. And really, it's so fun to do. Now I am going to clean this stamp before I ink it up again because I have a fair bit of that Calypso Coral ink, and I want to go back to my pail. And if I don't do that in between, I end up with a darker color than I intend. So now I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the Calypso Coral on the outer edge of my peaches. And I probably need to put my little scrap under here because I'm going to end up going off the mat. And then once again, I'm just going to angle these little guys right into, there we go, right into the branches. And then I have a second set of these little peaches coming right down. Probably didn't get, I probably should have gone a little farther over, but I think it's okay. As my daddy used to say, it was good enough for government work. Now I need to put this on this inside piece too. So let's clean the stamp again because we have the darker Calypso Coral in there. And I will tell you when you go to line this up, actually, if you just take a couple of seconds, I was trying to rush things along, which is actually not a good thing to do. If I weren't rushing, I would be better off. Story of my life. Now that is going to go right into there. Now that's looking very nice. You just take a little extra second and it comes together really nicely. Yeah, I think I got it off on that one too. C'est la vie. I will say that this stamp set is really gorgeous. And in addition to that, it has some amazing greetings. So let me just bring this back in to show you. I'm going to do Have a Peachy Day, but look at how many greetings there are. I mean, just really outstanding. So I'm going to put Have a Peachy Day on the outside. I actually didn't intend to put something on the inside, but I could easily put in there to a sweet friend, let's celebrate you. I mean, there's just hello, all kinds of things. So lots of things I could do on the inside. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is put my greeting down. Calypso Coral is what I'm going to do. Just keep the same color scheme, but I'm using the darker one here of what I have. Actually, you know what? Let's do Pear Pizzazz. Let's just do Pear Pizzazz. I think that might look really good. Kind of tie into that other little strip of pear that we have. Now, where did I put the stamp? Here we go. Last time I was stamping with y'all on camera, I couldn't find something anywhere. And of course, when I finished and I lifted up the basket, there it was. Okay, so Have a Peachy Day. I'm using my Pear Pizzazz. And I stamped it off when I did the leaves, but this time I'm doing full on. And it gives me just a little bit of a deeper shade of green. And you know, Pear Pizzazz is the lighter counterpart to Old Olive. So that's actually a useful little thing to know, that they are light and dark counterparts of one another. So that kind of helps you when you're using them together. Okay, now we are ready. The only tools I'm using on this are my bone folder and my seal. And I think seal is actually a great a really, oh, I got one more thing. A really great adhesive, even for beginners. I love this stuff. I think sometimes the liquid glue, it can be a little bit messy, and people can struggle with it because it doesn't come right off your fingers. It's not water soluble. So it can have its own challenges. Now, I'm going to add one more bit of color here. We're going to get out a blending brush, and we're going to add a little bit of Balmy Blue ink. Let's see. One more color here. And then we're just about done. We're going to just put it together, and we're almost done. So I'm going to ink up my blending brush, and I always like to start off the cardstock and start over here. Now I'm just taking just a wee bit of color to kind of take the rawness off of the white and to give a little bit of a sky look. Now I'm not too worried about if I go over the peaches. It's really not going to show much, and it's not going to discolor the peaches, but look how it's giving me just that nice soft look of the sky and taking away any kind of really harshness that the white might bring. Sometimes you want that really strong white, and sometimes you really don't. So let's do a little bit on the inside as well. Now look at what happens. See that? How it just softens the whole thing? Now let's do a little bit on the inside piece, and let's just go a little bit right up here. I still have plenty of room to write my little message. Let's see. Just a little hint, just a little kiss of Balmy Blue. Okay, now let's put it all together, and then I got a little bit of show and tell for you, because this is my simple and stepped up Facebook Live, but the stepped up I'm going to show you is some sample cards instead of stepping this one up on camera. I thought I have so many great samples to show you that are all stepped up. And then I also have a little bit of Happy Mail that I wanted to share with you. So Susan is on here with us, and she sent me a gorgeous card this week that I wanted to show you. And I also got a couple of other pieces of Happy Mail. So now, look at what we're going to do. Look how that comes together. This is simple stamping. All we've done, this is stamp, ink, and paper. That's all that is. But this is where you have a really gorgeous stamp set, and it just really works for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put seal just right on this edge. And it's plenty strong, and it is going to do the work for me that I want of holding that. There's my little fun fold. And now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pop it like so. Isn't that cute? You know what? I came over a little bit far. Yeah, it's going to end up, I didn't factor that in. It's going to end up, you know what? I'm going to cover over that. So yeah, do as I say and not as I do. You see how that ends up obliterating that a little bit, and I want that nice white frame. So yeah, I'm actually just going to cover this up right now. And we probably could do something on the inside and not even know. So this is going to be stuck down here, but the way I like to do that is to line it up like so with the top. So you see what I'm doing to give myself a nice little frame there. And then I'm just going to close the card like so. And now, boom, I'm there. So now that we have this down, let's go ahead and do a second try with the inside so it's really pretty. Although before I do that, let's go ahead and put down our nice little, not rhinestones, these are sequins. Aren't they lovely? They're just perfect for this. Ooh, I just saw a comment. I've been looking down the whole time, and I just looked up and saw a comment, and Marlene said, this is a yummy card. Exactly. You know, here in Texas, we grow peaches. And in the summertime, going to the Pick Your Own Peach Orchard is a lot of fun. Look at that. Look at that. Super simple. Stamp, ink, paper, and an embellishment. That's all we have on there. Now let's see if we can't go on the inside and do something, and let's see what we can do on this envelope as well, because I really want to use a little bit more of those stamps. They're just fun to do. So let's see. Here's my, where did I put my, see, this is what happened. Candy starts talking, and then she puts my little foam mat, my little piercing, found it on top of the computer. Okay, so now let's take the larger peach stamp because we can and because it's fun. And let's do a little bit of, let's make this peach again. This time, we're gonna do this big peach, and we're gonna ink it up with the pale papaya. And then we are going to come in with the Calypso Coral. And I've got my little Calypso Coral. I like to have one for each color. And I'm just going to add that right along the edge to give that sun-kissed peach look. Hey there, Pat. I'm glad you're joining us. We're doing a peachy card. So I'm just going to stamp that right down in the corner of my envelope. Look at the color. You see all the shades of peach on there? That's what is fun. So yeah, Beverly is saying this would be great to use with leftover DSP. It would. Okay, so that part's done. Let's come in here with a larger, where's my green ink? Upside down. Let's come in here with the larger set of leaves, and let's stamp off the Pear Pizzazz again, and let's just nestle that right in. Like, it can go either direction, to be honest. I think I'm going to go this way. Okay. So now look at that peach. Nice, realistic looking peach. Now let's go back to the inside. Look at there. I'm loving this. This is simple stamping. This is Stampin' Ink paper and one embellishment. That's all we did on here. But this is what happens when you have a really gorgeous stamp set that can give you a look of watercolor, a look that is really rich and actually quite artistic. So let's go back and let's see what we can do on the inside of this card where I messed it up. Okay, so we're going to stamp off here. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to put this scrap paper right up here because I'm wanting to put, there we go, just like so. And I'm going to put this, there is my little branch. And now I'm well and truly done with the Pear Pizzazz. So let's come along here with the little trio of peaches. And I've already cleaned them, so I don't have to worry about transferring a darker color. And I'm going to use the Pale Papaya again. Ink it up really good. And then I'm going to add the Calypso Coral. And I'm just going to, when you get it in the light, you can see the outside of that peach. You just add a little bit of color. And then, one more time, I need to get my little piece of scrap paper here and put it up here because, let's put it down here, because I need to add this peach in here. Now, I need to angle that guy right in there. This time, I'm doing it right. Haha. Voila. Oh, I did it again. Oh my gosh, I still have the peach at the top. Oh well, c'est la vie. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have put it over here on the side and then it wouldn't have shown. Oh well, it's going to be okay. It's just going to have to be okay. So there is my simple stamping card. Where'd the envelope go? Here we go. Here's the envelope. Now let me show you some stepped up and let me show you the other things that go with this suite. One of the things is the absolutely gorgeous designer series paper. I'm pretty sure this is on 20% off right now. All the designer papers are being discounted right now with our last chance list. So look at these gorgeous, gorgeous papers, and you can see where I brought my color scheme from, directly from the designer series paper. This is probably my favorite piece in the paper. I mean, wouldn't that be gorgeous on top of like a journal or something? I mean, it's just, I love the blue in here. The balmy blue is just such a nice, fresh color in here. Now, the peach blossoms are really lovely as well. So there's just a lot to love in this paper. You can see I've chopped and cut. And truth be told, this is the second set that I had, because I did a lot with this. Look at how pretty that is. I mean, really gorgeous. So there is, oh, and this piece is so pretty, the blue and white on this one. So let's check the other side and those Calypso Coral stripes. Just a lot here. A lot that goes with the peaches and then that also extends beyond. Now, let me show you a little bit of the other projects that I have as far as stepped up, and then also showing you something that I had done when this stamp set first came out. So there's this is a super simple one that I had done, and this shows how you can use, this doesn't show peaches at all, but look how the dies, you have these fun little flower dies because they're the little peach blossoms. This is an absolutely gorgeous example of using the dies and two of the papers. I mean, this is just a beautiful, beautiful card. I got this as part of a swap. And look at these little tiny flower dies. They're just exquisite. And then I also have, did I have another one here? Then I'm going to show you some that I did here. This was when this stamp set first came out. This was Facebook Live late last year. Or maybe it was in the summertime. So I made the peaches into blueberries. And then I did I made them into cherries. And then I made the big one into a plum. This is like a green gauge plum or any of the green plums. And yes, the peach jars are fantastic. They're also a part of this suite. And then this is a plum. So you can see where I was doing simple stamping, and then I stepped up with just a little bit of embellishment and a twine bow. And this is part of the same, this is part of the same set of designer series papers. So you can actually do at least five sets of fruit. There's probably more, but I did cherries, blueberries, and 2 different kinds of plum on top of the peaches. So I think it's a must-have. With the sale price, you definitely want to be putting it on your shopping list. And again, I have your inspiration sheet ready to go with all your measurements and all of your items. The Sweet as a Peach bundle is on sale right now, 20% off, only $32.75. Something I forgot to show you. Let's see. Here we go. The dies, I did point out the amazing greetings. Look at the dies. One of the dies I really like in here is this really skinny. Look at this skinny banner. When you're doing these really thin lines, very hard to cut that straight. So having a die is just really, really helpful. And this is the die that punches out the branch that we used today. And then these are those 3 little flowers. So those, you can either stamp them and punch them out, or you can just punch them out. Here are the other pieces that we used today on our envelope. We used these stamps. And then here are the little peaches. And then look at these tiny little flowers, and there's another branch there, and there's your little leaves. So yeah, there's a lot to love. I think it's an incredible buy. For sale price is, I didn't want to say it wrong, $32.75. So I would strongly urge you, again, it's while supplies last, to grab some. Grab your paper while you are there. You know what? I forgot to put the paper on here. I didn't put the paper on here because I was doing simple stamping without the paper. But the paper is, I believe it's 20% off. I know it's discounted. And again, this and the paper are while supplies last because they're on the retiring list, as well as this awesome Artistry Blooms. They're just great to use. So I will tell you as well that I do have a host code for you. It is right here. And so if you just you can go to StampItUp.com and put that in, or you can go to shopwithcandy.com and put that in. So when you use that host code, it will automatically tie you into my store. So I sure thank you for watching. Hope you are inspired to do some simple stamping yourself. Again, this is simple stamping. Anybody can do this. You don't have to have any experience. Prior experience, not necessary. I gave you several tips about using a couple of different shades of ink to get your really realistic peach color, and a couple of tips about using your blending brushes and what not to do on the inside of your card. And but yeah, so you can invite one of your friends over to stamp with you that's never stamped before, and you can execute this card. It's a really nice fun fold. And I think that's one of the things that we forget, that fun folds don't require like expert level of crafting. They are fun, and they just are unexpected and give you something special. So Beverly, thank you so much for tuning in and for your thanks. I appreciate that. Let me see if I can grab some comments here really quick before I sign off. Let's see. Can I see them really quick? Let's see. Avenel, welcome. I'm glad you are here. And let's see. And Susan is going to case this. Yay. Okay, and Laura's here. Welcome, Marlene, Simone. Well, that is going to be it for me today. Don't forget that I will be back here on Tuesday with Teach Me Tuesday. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing a bunch of blog postings, so be sure to visit sweetstamper.com. You can subscribe to my blog, and that way you get all of my blog posts come to your inbox. So that's it. Have a great weekend. Take care, and God bless.